My name is Dan Brown, and I'm here today with 1,000 quests and 100 lifetimes. This is a game of my own design that I'm playing on the Gauntlet gaming community, and we are here for our second session. In the first session, we did character creation, and we got our adventure underway. 1,000 Quests is based on a system I designed called the Trust System. It's about a pair of adventurers. I am going to let my players introduce themselves and their characters in just a moment. We are playing with safety tools. We are playing with 3 safety tools, just to remind everyone. X card, which if you see or hear something objectionable, you can say X or hit the X card, and we will pause and redirect. We are playing with open table. If you need to get up and walk away, please do. Just let us know if you can, when and if you will be coming back. And then the last one is lines and veils. We've got a safety and resources tab in our character keeper where people have indicated which topics they do not want included at all, and which topics we should assume happen off screen. Those are our 3 safety tools. And now why don't we do player introductions, and then we'll do a quick recap, player and character introductions. So Jesse, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Jesse. My pronouns are he and him, and I am playing Jareth 2, T-E-W, whose pronouns are also he and him. Jared is trained as a duelist, likes to offer unsolicited, ill-informed, and usually poor advice, and is kind of I guess like intuitive through observation. Right, pretty confident, and maybe murdered someone, probably killed someone, more than one someone, but in particular is a little bit on the lam for someone I'm told I killed. I might have killed them. It was a heated situation, and I was somewhat intoxicated, so unclear. Me and Jocasta, who you'll meet in a second, have been tooling around the city whose name I've forgotten.
Right, it is City of Ephanos.
Ephanos, yes. We've been tooling around Ephanos, trying to track down the Shadow Hands, who have this thing, who have this MacGuffin. It's a book. It's an amulet. It's an amulet.
Really close.
Who have this amulet that we've been hired to steal.
Someone who reads a book might as well be an amulet. It's a magic item.
Yeah, I mean, look, for Jareth, like it's something that's valuable. He probably can't read.
No, most people can't. Mm-hmm. Why? Why would you? There's hardly anything to read. Who would learn to read, really?
Thank you, Jesse. Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. He, him. And my character is Jocasta, she, who is a trained empath turned thief. When she became empath enough to realize that all the people that she was working with were awful people, and that she preferred the company of people who were genuinely dreadful rather than secretly dreadful and outwardly fake. So she is a most unlikely person to be in the adventure business and to prefer the low company of people like Jareth. She fights with knives, wielded or thrown as the occasion requires. And bears the characteristic facial tattoos of a trained empath for those few people who recognize that she is generally very soft-spoken and very quiet, which has stood her in good stead when it's necessary to put a dagger in somebody's back. She has alluded to have been in love at one point with a man named Albrecht, who evidently it didn't work out. And he is now safely married with a family and spare tire and all sorts of things. And Jocasta says she has no regrets, which is a lie. She is sometimes cruel and intimidating, and sometimes surprisingly gracious and merciful. She keeps her emotions carefully hidden behind a facade of general wry amusement at the world, and sometimes at Jareth. But she enjoys bathing occasionally, but never past a certain point.
Why does Jocasta like hanging out with Jareth, besides the fact that she can occasionally poke fun at him? What does she get out of this partnership?
Jareth is Jareth's a noble soul, really, down deep, and she knows that. And he's reliable. For all that, that outwardly he says things that sometimes are nonsense. When the chips are down, she knows where he'll be and what he'll be doing, and that's difficult to come by in this business. He may not be the best interlocutor, but she has her little books for that. She is very unusual. Well, she is unusual in that she reads, and strikingly unusual in the lower classes, where pretty much no one is literate. I think if the coins didn't have different sizes, the typical merchants wouldn't know what to do.
Nice. And I guess, Jareth, same question. What is it about Jocasta that is good for your partnership?
She's good at a lot of things. Things I'm not good at. She's willing to wait a second, which can be helpful when I step in right away. And there's someone who waited a second and saw whatever thing I just triggered.
Nice. So if I remember correctly, you were in kind of at the beginning of this adventure where you've been asked by Lord Somerton's associate, I guess, advisor, to recover the amulet of ethereal darkness from the Shadow Hands, which is some kind of underground illicit organization in the city. If I remember correctly, you wandered down to South Waterside to try and find out where they might be holding the amulet. And you used the ingenious plan of idly speculating about it out loud in the hopes that someone would overhear you and maybe direct you correctly. But it sort of backfired on you in that you all don't know this, but the wrong people overheard you.
We didn't spot it, and we didn't spot them before things got thick.
I can't remember if there was any particular cliffhanger or anything that we left.
There was. Yeah, there was. I think a number of shadow hands had converged on us with perhaps the desire of quieting us for once and all. But since they hadn't yet spoken, it's not 100% clear that's there.
All right, so that is where we'll pick up. But before we do that, are there any other details or anything else that you recall from the previous session that we should make note of?
I don't think so. I think
No,
those are
no. I mean, we assume that Lord Somerton's and his advice, is generally up to no good because wealthy people generally are.
Yeah.
And his advisor is clearly a sorceress of some sort. And magic users are, well, they're not necessarily evil, but they sure tend that way.
Right.
Magic is a colossal temptation that few can withstand for very long, and the best of them are somewhat callous and and willing to expend other people's lives in order to further their own knowledge.
Yes, we're also, I think, although there's a little bit of tension going on in our relationship at the moment. Also, I believe
Just because I let you get thumped in a bar fight.
Yes, because you let me get thumped in a bar fight.
So I'm
correct.
Is this a conversation that you all are having right now as the shadow hands kind of move in?
So that last little part, I think, is out loud. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
It is.
It's like,
are you still mad? Yes, I'm still mad.
Are you still mad that I let you get thumped in a bar fight? Yes.
I'm tired and I'm anxious and I am upset.
At the same time as we are reflexly going back to back, to not be surrounded.
Oh, I like that. So you sort of are starting to be aware of these folks moving in. Mm-hmm. The argument continues even as you are getting ready for this fight.
Absolutely. We don't have to pause in our argument to square up. Yeah. No, I shoot both my wrist daggers into my hands. Not in a threatening way yet, but I sure want to have them right there if they rush us.
So some options. We could just do this as a fight and the shadow hands are coming after you. We could do this as the shadow, like there's some leader within the shadow hands who approaches you and maybe asks for a meeting. Or we could have a third party kind of step in and maybe break things up. To any of
those. The shadow hands have their own agenda would be interesting, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I think the question is like, what do they want from us? Right? Mm-hmm. What's their, like, maybe they want to fight us and kill us, but maybe they want something else. I don't know.
I think there's something that they want. So let's say, I should have brought up a name generator, but let's say as the shadow hands are closing in, their weapons are drawn.
Okay, I produced 2 knives, just sort of casually, as we're talking. Like I was scratching at my elbow, and I have 2 knives in my hand.
Right.
I pull out my sword, but I'm not.
I have my eyes carefully on. Sorry, I had my eyes carefully on them, even as I'm still talking to Tara.
Right, and I'm kind of the opposite. I do pull out my sword, but it's like I'm being lazy with it. I'm kind of like using it to gesticulate as I'm like getting another dig in at Jocasta, right? And it's like kind of like a Victorian dandy might use a cane,
right,
as like a way of being emphatic in speech. Basically, and I'm not looking at them warily. I'm kind of studiously ignoring them.
And
Jocasta's smiling, which she often does when in a fight, especially when things don't look good. She imagines that your opponents find it a little off-putting.
And just as you think this thing is about to go down, you hear a voice emerge from sort of behind the crowd of shadow hands. There's maybe 6 of them. It's a woman's voice, and she pushes through the shadow hands who are cloaked and garbed all in kind of a charcoal gray, which you can sort of barely make out in the lamplight. All of these folks are kind of carrying various small but sharp weapons. But the woman's voice says, "Hold." And the shadow hand goons kind of take a step back, and a woman clothed similarly, but with her hood down, kind of her weapon not drawn, approaches you and says, "You've been asking about us. Why?"
Well, actually, not to correct you or anything. We've been asking about something that you might have, but thank you for confirming that.
I'm not here to play games, little girl. What is your interest in the Shadow Hands?
Well, we were hired to investigate where a particular item might be. But we don't particularly have any great love for the person who employed us. And so we're willing to listen to reason.
Reason.
Or money. We'll listen to money.
That's money is a kind of reason. Everyone knows this.
Interesting. And which item in particular? The Shadow Hands have amassed quite a collection over the years.
I don't super care as long as it's worth something.
I mean, which item are you after?
Whichever one you'll give me.
Cut it out, Jared. A trinket called the Amulet of Eternal Darkness, which evidently is a nasty little piece of work, and probably of no particular use to you, except for what you can blackmail someone for it.
I think at this point she just simply says, "Take them," and they are moving in. Do you want to play this as a fight? Do you want to play this as you are just simply grabbed and see where that leads us?
I think I want to be beaten up a little bit before I get grabbed.
Hang on.
I think they need to pay the toll if they're gonna lay rough hands on me.
I'm fine with having the situation resolve as us losing a fight without a roll to get us to that next scene.
Okay.
As long as there was a fight.
Right, but like clearly, like Jareth is going to fight.
I want to at least break somebody's nose, and then they can dogpile us,
so Jocasta broke a nose. Jareth, what kind of hit did you get in before you were subdued?
Sorry, you were asking
to
Jocasta?
Jesse. Yeah, to Jareth.
Sorry, I thought you said Jocasta.
No, Jocasta broke someone's nose. What hit did you get in?
Yeah, I went for the classic feint with the dagger, bring the knee up hard trick.
There's a lot of them, right?
They're about 3-1 on us. So yeah, there's not a giant mob, but
tone-wise, are we okay if I kill one of them?
Tone-wise, I'm fine with it. On the other hand, it may not be wise.
Yeah,
I'm pretty unwise. But I guess the question is like, where do we want to find ourselves? Right? I'm fine. Let's
break his collarbone or something like that.
I think I actually like cut one across the face pretty badly.
Nice, classic Douglas move.
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
Yeah,
like they're gonna have a scar for the rest of their life.
Love it. So I think they abduct you, and it's maybe, let's call it sort of 35-40 minutes of being hooded and dragged into a wagon and carted across town. You're led, as far as you can tell, into a building of some sort. You're led down some stairs. You are thrown into a cell, and Corinne, I guess they kind of remove the hoods, and you are sitting not bound, but your weapons have been removed. Does all that sound fair to you all?
Sure.
And
at least
Corinne
all the weapons they could find.
Yes. Well, they were pretty thorough.
Yeah, they're pretty thorough, but
There's always one.
there's always a little knife.
Just a little knife.
It is, not, it'd be something more suitable for like, cutting your bread than fighting with, but in a pinch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they found both of my weapons, which are obviously the sword. I think I also carry like a smaller knife that's again more of a tool than a weapon. But not hidden in any way. So
all right.
No, I have a tiny little, basically it's a jackknife. So it folds up small. I'm not going to advertise that fact. Well, this is undignified, I say to Jared.
Yeah, I think Corinne is standing over you. There's maybe another person in the room with her. They're both looking at you. What sort of banter do we hear from you all?
Sorry, where
You're
I'm really sorry.
You're fine. You're sitting in a cell. You and Jocasta and Jareth are sitting in a cell. Corinne is standing above you, kind of waiting. There's another figure in there waiting. And Jocasta says, well, this is, what did you say? This
is undignified.
This is undignified.
If we just like stabbed a bunch of them real quick, this wouldn't have been a problem.
I did stab one.
That's a bunch of them real quick. Before talking,
pretty well
talking
trained.
Was the problem. We talked
well
too much.
Trained in group. I beg to differ. Can I have my book back?
No. You won't get any of your items back until you tell us exactly what they wanted, why they wanted the amulet.
I don't know why they wanted it. They
why do people want sorcerer's amulets to do horrible things with? I mean, I assume.
You think they tell us why they want things? We're supposed to come down here, we break some skulls, we get the amulet, we bring it back, we get paid.
Or not, and we die, and maybe they find out something about it. Who knows? It didn't strike, as I said. This is
how much did they
relationship?
How much did they offer you?
A lot. I can have said, I don't remember if there was a specific number, right?
It was 1,000 gold, we said.
It was 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold.
You figured it must be a pretty good property for 1,000 gold.
I think I actually say, can we just retcon that? I say 1,500 gold.
Corinne says to the person behind her, they're getting desperate, but not so desperate they would have hired professionals if they really needed this.
Come down here. I'll show you how fucking professional I am.
Quiet.
We have, we have our good points.
Oh, yes? What are those? All I've seen is just ill-mannered, poor fighters, untrained.
Is she standing over? If she's standing over us,
I think she's smart enough to keep her distance.
That first one is one of our good points.
Yeah, well, you obviously think that we're at least kind of dangerous because you're standing over there instead of over here. As to that, I pick up a pebble, I toss it in one hand, I close my hand around it, and then I open my hand and show that it isn't there anymore. And I toss it from the other hand.
Fine, a street magician. I will assemble the children so they can be entertained.
Well, I can do it with a, I can do it with a poisoned knife too.
Here's my question. If you divulge who was looking for this, it is possible that we can come to some arrangement where maybe you could double the money that you were offered.
Arranged.
How possible?
How possible?
Yeah.
Well, tell us who's looking for it.
Can I just tell them?
Is she? Hang on. Is she?
I said that to Jocasta, by the way.
Yes,
That was
I
me.
I know they do natural course of action. They're worth trying and appraise.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Not
forgot
that
about
way. We're not very good at it, but still, who knows? Maybe this will be better.
So talk to me a little bit about what this is a move you're doing together. So
Yeah.
what does this
Can I
look
can,
like?
can I make a suggestion on my side, and then
Yeah.
Jocasta, you'll fill in. I think like I'm acting the buffoon, and some of that is just that I'm a little bit of a buffoon, but some of that is a show, and it's like pushing to provoke them to sort of like act in ways where their guard is lowered, and to give sort of like Jocasta the opportunity to like either slip in that question unguarded or perceive the thing that they let on while I'm sort of playing this part.
Jocasta is and Jocasta is the master of the semi-heard remark that people react to.
Yeah.
She can mumble something that will make people say, "What was that? What did you say?" and thus confirm her suspicions.
Nice.
Empath stuff.
So this is one of those moves where you each roll a d6, and we're going to add your trust, and then we can take it from there. So
The trust is still a little tattered.
the dice. I'll put the dice roller in the chat.
We haven't had a chance to pump up trust yet.
Well, it's hard to succeed to get that trust up there is the thing.
There are ways to get trust up during downtime, but we haven't had that. So let's try and roll. Ready?
Yep, and roll.
Nice roll. All right, that was a 5.
You have an option of using a lure to bump you up from a 6- to a 7 to 9.
I think that would be a good thing to do.
Yes, I think this is the right moment for that.
Yes. Well, sometimes the first motivation is not the best motivation. Do you remember the City in the Clouds?
The first motivation was maybe the best motivation there, but we made the call we made, right?
That's right. You change your mind and you stick with it.
Yeah, and sometimes it sticks you, but that's how it goes.
It's always good to know which end of the dagger is the pointy one.
So ask me a question, and you guys should confer on which question you want asked, and then you'll each pick a consequence.
We didn't talk about stepping on each other's toes either there.
That's okay. I felt like you were coordinated, but not perfectly coordinated. So I thought it was a really good.
Also, they're showing off.
Yeah. I think maybe we should ask what's useful. Does that make sense as a question?
How can we gain something useful?
What here is useful, and how can we gain something useful? That one's better, the one you said.
Yeah, well, I think gaining is better than knowing.
Yeah, I think so
off
too.
the top of my head, and yeah, I think that question is the most apposite to figuring out if these. I mean, because if they're genuine. So yes, we're
Ah.
going to ask, how can we gain something useful?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And even getting out of here alive would be something useful, but money would be better.
I think, yeah, I think if you let on that you knew something about Somerton, that you could, clearly these folks want to kind of, they have it in for Somerton. And
Okay,
if
so do I.
Yeah, if you sort of let on, you've got some knowledge that would help you help them in a sense. You could gain, yes, your freedom, but maybe something else that would allow you to complete some mission on their behalf, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And we should do you want to pick a consequence first?
Sure.
You each pick a consequence.
Yeah.
I think certainly another threat emerges during this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'll pick that.
So like I'm already stuck. I'm just looking at
stuck,
yeah.
so we can't pick or stuck.
Yeah, like I'm already stuck. I'm not incapacitated yet.
You don't want to be.
What?
No, nor do you want to be.
No, well, they're all consequences. I don't want any of these things to happen. I think someone, maybe this is also related to it. Someone is alerted to our presence, right? Someone who wasn't aware of it before. Maybe that's related to the threat that emerges.
Yeah. So here's my thought on sort of how to pull this together, and I'll be interested in how you feel about this. I think Samari, who is the name of the sorceress who was helping Somerton, has transformed herself into some sort of raven, and is sitting in a window, a high window, and she is observing all of this going down. And so there's sort of a clatter and a flapping as she kind of flies away. You all don't know who that is, but we, the narrators, kind of know that she is now observed some of this going down. And so I feel like that's she and Somerton are being alerted to your presence here. And this is sort of another threat emerging off screen.
And our potential betrayal, presumably also, right?
Right.
Yes. Although maybe not our actual betrayal.
Right.
Well, you all really don't like him.
He's a real piece of shit, isn't he?
Well, we knew he was. I mean, but that doesn't mean everybody hates him, right?
Let's just say that Somerton doesn't necessarily have Ephanis's, the city of Ephanis's best interests in mind, but
oh no, we knew that.
What Noble does.
Especially ones that deal with the likes of people like Samari.
Yes. So you have met his sorceress.
Oh, yes. We've also seen a little bit of what she can do, which is enough to, persuade us that if any of this was above board, he would have gone this route. But then that's why you hire people like us, right? Deniability. We're good at that.
What if we were to give you a counterfeit amulet to bring back to them?
Samari tested.
You would have to be careful. You'd have to get out before they test it. We would hopefully, we may have a lead on someone who can help shield you. But by planting this counterfeit amulet, that will give us insight into Somerton's and Samari's moves.
As long as it withstands superficial examination. I don't think they're going to go into any deep stuff with the likes of us around.
Still, we have a magician that we work with who can enchant this amulet, which we suggest that you do before you bring it to them, so that even if they do a deeper study, you will not be betrayed.
Okay, so suppose we do this really dangerous thing. What's in it for us?
Well, you said Somerton offered you 1,500 gold, and we promised we would double it, so 3,000 gold.
That sounds excellent to me, Jocasta. I'll do it by myself if she doesn't want to.
Hey, in a pig's eye, you will.
I'll do it with you if you do. We're a package deal so long as we both want to do the work. But if we don't both want to do the work, there's no reason I should sit at home.
Interesting. It's an interesting offer. Let me think about it.
Don't think too long.
I'm getting bored down here.
I want, yes, but I want my things back and a vial of decent poison.
I think that can be arranged.
Just in case things go south. But otherwise, I'm amenable.
Excellent. I'm wondering if maybe we should spend a little time roughing you up just to make it look authentic.
Didn't we already do that back there?
I'm still pretty smooth, says Jocasta, brushing her hair back from her forehead.
I've taken enough of a beating. I'm good. That son of a bitch I cut really gave it to me.
Yeah, he wanted another crack at you, but I agree. I think this is unnecessary. So I've given you the good news. Yes.
Sorry. Jocasta says, give me a knife.
I think we're good. We will provide you a vial of poison. We will provide you your weapons back. Unfortunately, the counterfeit is being crafted as we speak in a small hamlet just outside of town. So you will need to go pick it up there. And upon your return, visit the enchanter to have it disguised, and then you can bring it to Somerton. Are the instructions clear?
We have to go to a place outside town that you're telling us and bring it back here.
Right. And I will provide you a vial of poison and all of this information. Jareth, is there anything you wanted? We provided Jocasta our finest poison.
I want my sword.
You will get your weapons back.
I want my hat. You're paying us. I want my money. What else do I want? What would be helpful?
Here.
Jocasta, what would be helpful?
A little magical protection from their wizard.
I don't want magic. I don't trust that shit.
Neither do I. That's why I asked for poison.
I mean, what I really want is another swing at that son of a bitch that beat me up, but I'm good. I can handle myself. We're fine.
He walks in. He's got kind of a bandage on his face.
Yeah.
And he's wearing your hat.
Oh, are we still restrained? Can I approach him?
Yeah, you were
We're
never
not-
really restrained. You were just sort of forcefully placed in chairs.
Yeah, I just walk over to him and grab the hat. Do I punch him? No, I look at his face for a second as if I'm gonna punch him, and then I see like the blood seeping through the bandage, and I'm just like, I give him like a gentle pat on the face.
Nice.
Like not so gentle, a little bit of a rough pat.
And
Just
I think,
I'm like,
I think when
you're
you
gonna look good.
when you approach him, it's clear you are like half a head taller than him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was like, you're gonna look good once that heals up. Oh, they're gonna love you. They're gonna love you. People love a scar.
Yeah, especially when we love scars.
So give me just a second. All right. So
Scars are sexy.
I feel like we are at the end of this waypoint. And I'm just going to give you the asset. Hang on just a second. Let me remind myself how my moves are supposed to work. Yeah. So, well, no, I guess the asset would be the actual amulet, the counterfeit amulet. So we will hold off on that. I think we'll start kind of the next chapter, the next waypoint, which is sort of making our way to this hamlet to get the counterfeit amulet. But we are now between waypoints, so we can do some downtime moves. Does that sound okay? Was there anything else you wanted to do with the shadow hands?
No, I mean, from my perspective, I think that's great. I'm ready to do
Hey,
some.
we were in jail and now we're not.
Yeah.
That's bonus.
As you're getting, so we talked about the bar where you kind of hang out. You go back there to kind of do your downtime. Is there another place where you can lay low before you catch the wagon out of town?
I don't think that bar is a great place to go back to right now, is my guess.
It's not a good time.
Right?
They'll have free to put the tables back.
If you want, we can go back to the bar if you want to go back to the bar, Tricasa.
A bar like that, they're kind of. One reason we like that bar is that that sort of thing doesn't really phase them.
It's fair. That's fair.
One of the nice things about going to that bar or any kind of public space is you can use the carouse downtime move, which allows you to recover your lore,
Which is a good thing.
which is a good thing.
So I think we should do that. And I think we should also share.
Yeah, I think we should talk about sharing. I agree.
All right. So maybe in your walking to the bar, you're doing a share.
So now we're cellmates.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, we can call it that.
However, briefly.
We've
done hard time.
It was pretty soft.
So only because they wanted something out of us.
Yeah, that's all they ever
The
want.
counterfeit gem thing's a pretty good trade.
Oh yeah, and maybe who knows? Maybe we can take it and sell it to someone else when we're done. Either way,
I think I'd rather get on their good side and actually do the job. But we can, work that out as the time goes. The nice little flick there. I mean, that point chart of yours is not necessarily the best crowd. Have you ever thought of using a dagger in the other hand?
I've done it once or twice. And I proceed to tell like a kind of elaborate story, I think, that is also somewhat embarrassing. I used to have this. I mean, you see, I carry this and I like pull it back and it's this like kind of Bowie knife type, like big cutting tool knife. Right. I used to have this beautiful, sword breaker. I would fight with the S-stock and the sword breaker, and it was a whole. We put on show. we put on shows. It was a gift. It was a gift from. I'm going to make up a character right now. Dunmar. Who well, he was special to me. Let's just say that. And one day, I woke up, and Donmar was gone, and so was the sword breaker he had given me. And so now I just use the one blade.
He stole your swordbreaker?
He
Or took it back?
Yeah, I don't know. He was in a lot of debt, and I mean, I don't. He had things he wanted in life that I guess I couldn't give him. So, yeah, he took it. I'm honestly miss it less than I miss him.
Yeah, I know missing people. It's but the past is a monster, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
a monster.
Yeah, its only purpose is to bite you on the ass, remind you what you don't have.
No, the past is a delicious, intoxicating spirit, which can you can sip from and enjoy, delicately.
It sounds more like the wine cordials. I like. If I could knife the past in an alley, leave it behind me, I would. But
So I think we can roll now if you like.
Is there a roll there?
There is a roll.
Trust.
Yeah, this is a +1 if it is welcome interaction.
Yeah, I've just slightly modified these rules.
So it's a flat roll.
It's flat, but if you can take +1 if it is a welcome interaction, and it sounds like it was.
Yeah.
Okay, but is this a trust move? No.
It is not a trust move. It says trust here because that's what you improve.
I see. Okay. So it's not modified. So it's a +1.
But we each roll 1 die.
Yep, we each roll one die.
One of these.
Roll.
Each roll.
Roll better this time.
Yeah, I'll do my best. That's a 3 and a 5.
Hey.
8, 9.
So on a hit, you may increase trust.
Hooray!
Freaking A, I'm going to do that there.
Yes, please do.
All right, so now you'll be rolling trust with 0. Let's narrate the carouse. And
Just a question, so this counts as both of our downtime moves?
Yes,
we get 2 downtime moves.
We get two each, but because these are both shared, the 2 counts as 2 each, right?
Right.
Cool. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we both we're on the edge in conditions too.
Yeah. So I guess that's a question. Do you want to do just resting, or do you want to do carousing?
So what happens if when we hit 5 conditions? Remind me, there's a thing.
Yeah. Then you have a setback, right? Then you're sort of like, hang on.
But does it and does that reset our conditions then, or are we just always?
When your trust is tested, reduce your trust level by 1 and describe how this manifests in the fiction. To regain trust, describe how you reconcile. And that there's some mechanical stuff that
Sure. And then what has and then we just stay at 5, and every time you go up 1 more, you have another setback, or does it reset?
Part of the one of the mechanical things that happen is that you clear some conditions. So.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, let's carouse.
All right.
Yeah. So
I'll describe what I'm doing with the crowd.
Great.
Or with some people there. Is I get into a mumbly peg game.
You get into a what now?
Mumbly peg?
Mumbly
peg. It's kind of like knifey spoony.
Mumbly peg is a knife flipping game. It requires a knife and a table, and it starts with fairly simple stuff like knife straight, flick the knife straight down, off the front of the hand, off the back of the hand, and then off of a upturned fist, and it gets fancier and fancier. And basically the idea is to it's like horse. You go past the the idea is to perform these stunts in a row better than the other person can.
And maybe what I'm doing is making book and being Jacosta's hype man.
That's fantastic.
And can I maybe just add like a little background flavor?
Yeah.
So this is from a true story about my life. So we're supposed to catch this cart out of town, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, the cart hasn't shown up. And we're sitting in this bar and playing this game. And time is passing, and we're in the bar, and Jocasta is very fucking good at this.
Yeah,
very good at this, which means we keep winning, which means, look, we're not making a ton of money, but we're certainly able to continue paying for drinks. Right.
So Jared's getting stewed.
Right. So I think part of what's happening is like we're waiting for this cart that's supposed to pick us up to show up, and meanwhile just getting like drunker and drunker and drunker as Jocasta is pulling off these like wilder and wilder moves that seems like she shouldn't be able to with the level of coordination she has right now.
Yeah, we're not playing for serious money, just for drink money and for
exactly
and for forfeits basically. So it's like, okay, you got to tell your most embarrassing moment.
All right.
I'm not playing. I'm terrible at this game.
So the way this works is you clear one lore, and then you roll plus lore.
Cool. I cleared the Demon of the Plains.
So now you're going to each roll a die and add one.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, we got a 6. Hooray.
All right. Well, you've cleared one lore. That's good. I think this now takes a little bit of a detour because as you are
everything we do does.
Yeah. I think as you're kind of like stumbling out of the bar, you've been kicked out, and you realize that the wagon that you're supposed to catch to go to this town is clear on the other side of town. But of course, Samari, we knew, also knew about your potential double cross. And I think, I'm trying to think of something interesting that happens. No, you know what? You've gotten on the wagon. Let's say this. You've gotten on the wagon, and you've basically passed out, and you wake up on the side of the road, and did we remove beasts from our palette?
No, there are beasts.
Oh, there are beasts.
They're very much.
There are no intelligent humanoids.
Right. But there is a let's call it kind of slavering, like giant scaly / furry hyena-like creature that's 3 times the size of a normal hyena, kind of rummaging through the cart and standing over you. Does that sound okay? I'm leaving that as our little cliffhanger as we take a pause for a break. I've got 1 past the hour. It's 9:01. Let's reconvene in 10 minutes at 9:11. Sound okay?
Yep.
All right. I'll see you in 10.
See you then.
All right, friends. The beast is standing over the dead body of the wagon driver and rummaging through some of the other supplies and things that were the cargo that was in the wagon besides you all. What do you do? Jocasta,
backward roll and pull daggers as one move. Shake my head and take in the situation mostly.
Jareth?
Well, that could have been us.
Yeah, I think I do a kind of thing that like it's kind of like in the opposite of a clown roll, right? Where like you know how clowns are super like dexterous, but make it look comical, right? Right? Like they make themselves look clumsier than they are. I think I like start falling off clumsily and then like write it into like this kind of perfect cat, like, on 2 feet landing.
The beast looks up from what it's doing and fixes you with a glare and starts to pad its way slowly in your direction. Its growl becoming deeper and louder as it gets closer.
Hey, you beat it.
Nice dog.
I think, yeah, I'm still in this crouch, and I just like hold my like arm out, razor straight, like super straight with the blade pointed outward. Just sort of like sideways. Not quite a dueling stance, but it's like to get to me, you have to get past this sharp thing.
Right.
And then to get to me, you have to get past that dull thing, and I indicate Jareth.
Yeah, I didn't say that incidentally. I was, that was like it was. But I just look at Jocasta. I'm like, don't make too many noises or move too fast. If we stay still, maybe it'll go away.
If it's full already, maybe it'll go away.
Yeah, it's got blood dripping down its lips. It goes into a crouch and is about to kind of jump upon you all. And in fact, maybe it does kind of leap. It may get scratched by your blade, Jareth, but it leaps among you and starts pawing and gnashing its teeth at you. This is overcome when you together face an imminent threat or an immediate danger. Describe your approach and the desired outcome and roll. So how do you fight this thing? And are you just trying to kill it, or is there something else that you're trying to do?
We're just trying to I think we're just trying to show it that this isn't really a fight. It's enjoying.
Yeah, I mean, like well, I guess like how clear is it that this is like more than just a normal beast?
It's huge.
Well, I understand it's like, but I mean, like, right? It's we as players know that this is Samari has sent this thing, right?
Well, I don't know that she has. As far as I can tell, it's just a huge thing.
Well, that was my question.
Oh, that's
right?
good.
Meaning, right? Because Dan, didn't you say that Samari sent this beast?
Yeah, I did say that. That sounds like something I would say.
Right. So I just want to check, like, is there anything about it that makes it clear to us that maybe not Samari sent it, but that there's something more than just like wild creature attacking us?
Do its eyes glow?
Yeah.
Red eyes is a dead giveaway.
I wonder if I put a picture of this thing in the NPCs and encounters tab.
Ooh.
And I wonder if there's some kind of
it's spiny
insignia that you see glowing on its shoulder. Something like that.
Ooh.
That's all you got, though. Like, I feel like you would need to do an appraise move to really understand what's going on with it.
No.
I don't think we're there. I think we're drive the creature off, right? And kill it if necessary.
Memorize that insignia. And and it's basically the only advantage we have is that there are two of us and there's one of him. And so the one who's not engaged with him currently can always be trying to circle around behind it.
Are you answering the trust level 0 questions, Brandon?
Am I?
So,
Let's see.
so you are now at trust level 0, and so if you're
we
describing
have
your
different questions.
new questions.
Awesome questions.
I think you just did answer. How does one of you hang back to make room for the other? I think you just kind of answered that question.
Yes. I'm I've got weapons that are about the length of its teeth. So I'm going to try to hamstring it while you capture its attention.
Yeah.
By
poking it with a sharp stick.
By poking it with a sharp
stick.
Yeah, nothing like being poked in the eye. And if I can dash in and slash a hamstring on this thing. If I get desperate, I'll peg a knife at it, but I have a feeling it would just bounce off unless I hit it in the eye.
So let's do that. Let's do that thing where you each roll a die. Good news.
We're so good at that.
The good news is you don't have to -1. So that's a start.
Hooray. To make the dice better, right? The dice know.
Yeah,
they don't.
No.
The dice are cognizant of the fact that.
Well, I just rolled the 1 anyway.
Freaking Jareth.
Jocasta.
What? I figured why bother after that roll?
He rolled twice what you rolled. So
six would have done it. I'm just saying, if you'd rolled a 6, could have picked up that slack.
I think so you could spend a lore since you got it back. Or
I think at a certain point, Jocasta says to Jareth,
well, wait a
time
minute.
to implement plan RLF.
Before you spend the lore, actually, can I mark my weapon instead?
That's the rules as written is that's only
to bump go it alone. Never mind. Yeah,
yes.
Never mind. Okay, so never mind.
So you can bump lore, or you can take the 6- and we can make things worse.
Go ahead, Jocasta. Explain how you invoke the lore.
I would say time to implement plan RLF.
Oh, not that fucking fine. And I kind of like lower the tip of the sword to like leave an opening. Right? Because remember, that's what happened.
Yes. Well, you remember playing RLF,
Yes. Meaning like I'm going to let myself get captured to an extent so that you can.
No. Playing RLF is run like.
Oh, I thought you were invoking the demon of the plains.
Yeah, well, that is what happened with the demon of the plains, isn't it? You let yourself.
And then I got caught when we ran like fuck.
Yeah. So you probably have to let it like sink its teeth into your arm or something like that. But that's
would
hold
what I'm
it
saying.
still.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm leaving an opening for it.
Okay.
When you say that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So once it gets Jareth by the arm, hopefully his non-sword arm, then it'll be still enough that I can stab it.
Love it. So you had intended to send it scurrying away or galloping away on a
So I was going to slash it across the hamstrings, and that would probably discourage it.
Right.
Because if it could either run away or it could fight us, kind of half crippled.
So just mechanically there, are we picking an effect, or is this everything pretty much goes as planned, but we're gonna have to mark pick consequences?
Yeah, the good news is at trust level 0, you only pick one consequence rather than each picking one. So you're picking either from the effects list or you're picking from the consequence list, and everything goes more or less.
I think we picked that Jareth got wounded.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I think that's the right. I think though. So the thing is, marking a condition isn't one of the possible consequences here.
Right. Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
Also, we don't want to do the setback where we lose trust. I think. I mean, look, disadvantageous position, or is it just we pick an effect, right? Which is the threat escapes, but it's not eliminated, which is a little bit of a dodge because we were part of what we were trying to do was drive it away, but.
The threat escapes what is eliminated.
Meaning we
Where's
can
that?
pick that's one of the effects that we can choose for overcome.
Oh, it's an effect. Oh, it's an effect.
Meaning instead of choosing a consequence, we pick an effect.
Got you. Uh,
The threat is eliminated, but leaves you in a weakened or disadvantageous position. The threat. You got it, but I've hurt my arm.
yeah, and we don't end it. We're going to have to hoof it the rest of the way.
I also wonder if you've also been sort of, I mean, yeah, you're definitely in a disadvantaged position because you are no longer with a wagon, no longer with transportation. And maybe you've been sort of dragged into the woods a bit. So you're a bit lost.
Sure.
Which gives me a chance to try the journey move.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm grumbling the whole time as I'm like, I don't think it's so in that case, like it's not a condition. I'm not like badly wounded, but
Right.
you know, but I'm grumbling. I'm like every fucking time, Jocasta,
What?
every time.
But it worked.
Yeah, it works, but my arm hurts. Next time,
Beer.
can your arm hurt?
Beer solves everything.
Did it grab your sword arm?
I don't think so. I think sort of what happened was like I lowered my sword arm and like turned my body.
Yeah.
I like
You
it.
you wear a leather van brace on that arm, right? Perfect
Something
for
like that. Sure.
perfect for being bit.
Yeah. You know what's perfect for being bit?
What?
Not being bit.
I had this idea, and I wonder if we could work it in where, by sort of rendering the creature, maybe by injuring it or by maybe rendering it unconscious, the kind of the spell that she wove dissipates. And I had this idea that maybe it was a person that had been,
Ooh, a shapeshifter.
or
An enchanted person.
yeah, she had enchanted like just a guard or something. And now he lies sort of largely naked and injured and unconscious before you. Does that sound
Yeah,
okay?
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I cut an important vein or something like that. And
Right.
we kept out of the thing's way until it passed out.
So I'm interested to hear you all reflect on this kind of transformation.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I poke him with my toe. I don't know. I'm so reflective. I like poke him with my toe and say, "Hey, you bit me. Who are you?"
He's unconscious. I'm going to search him.
Let's wake him up and find out.
Oh, we know
why he bit me.
We know why he bit you. Look, this guy was just transformed, right? He doesn't look like a shapeshifter, huh? He looks like a guard. So somebody transformed him. Who would be able to do that?
Well, of
Three.
course,
I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
I know it's Samari Jocasta. That's not the point. The question is, did he stand there and say, "Oh, my mistress, please transform me to your will"? Or did he say, "Oh, no, please. Oh, no."
She probably said, "You're going to do this thing," and he went, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, we can find out if we wake him up.
I don't really care. I don't really care, this guy. I mean, he's not going to, they wouldn't have told him anything just to get us. But this does mean something important. It means she's wise or regrets sending us out in the first place. Either way, it's not good. I'm going to see if he has anything on him that might be incriminating.
I'd assumed that he was naked because you have to be
okay.
naked to change into a giant hyena creature.
So what's that insignia? Is it a tattoo?
Yeah, I think there's like something on his, you see sort of, I'm imagining it like burning away. Now these.
Like
it was
that was her.
enchantment.
That was the enchantment.
But maybe he's got a tattoo on his shoulder that that's like Lord Somerton's insignia, right? To kind of mark him as one of his private guard. And I also wonder if maybe he's wearing a piece of jewelry that was difficult to see or make out when he was transformed, but maybe it isn't another amulet that he's wearing around his neck. That clearly has some kind of, if you are okay with kind of Samari being in control or being able to see through this creature's eyes, and it's this amulet that lets her do that.
Sure.
Is that all right? I know
I'm fine with it.
mind control can be meh, but
Oh, I didn't understand it as mind control.
Oh yeah, I just thought she was a spy.
yeah.
It's a little spy thing.
Yeah.
So largely naked guy, tattoo with a Somerton on his shoulder, or Somerton's tattoo on his shoulder. The insignia, the enchanting insignia, is burning away, and he's wearing an amulet. Jareth, what are you doing?
I mean, I still think I think I kick him to wake him up. Not like hard to hurt him, but just like enough to like get his attention.
I don't want him awake. I want to get the hell out of here. What are you going to ask him that you think he's going to answer?
Fine. Let's just go.
What about that amulet? Must be for something.
Do you think we could sell it?
No, it'd probably be a little hot for that.
Then let's just leave it. It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. Fuck it.
And I just was like, I'm not trying to metagame here.
No, let's get out of here.
I just don't, like magic.
No,
we can't sell it.
We both don't like magic. No, it's the kind of thing that if it's magic, it would be worthless except to somebody we wouldn't want to sell it to. Or not worth very much, unless it was just, some fabulous gemstone. But it's probably not. So
you are traveling the wilderness together. This is also a trust move. So you are meant to answer the trust level 0, at least one of the trust level 0 questions in describing how is it that you are navigating the wilderness. Does one of you have an idea of some familiarity with the area? Do you, is one of you reasonably good at tracking, or at least kind of have a good sense of direction? How do you narrowly stay out of each other's way? How does one of you direct the other? How does one of you hang back and make room for the other? Who wants to describe the approach?
The approach. You want to take a shot at this?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a city boy. I don't really know the wilderness so well. But like we fell off the cart, right? Like we're on the road or just off it.
We fell off the cart. Yes, right. We fell off the apple cart.
So I think what I think I'm just sort of like, I honestly think it's just like following the road. Right. I think here it's just sort of, and I do think there's a certain amount of like this is, I don't think it's wilderness traversal so much as it's like, can you navigate between the city and some random town that you've never heard of? Right. It's like, okay, did the Jocasta, did the Carter said something about there being like a stream you had to cross at one of the forks before we get to the village. It's like I think that kind of thing.
Didn't we cross that one already?
No, I'm pretty sure it's up ahead. And then there was going to be there was going to be like a banyan tree.
A lot of this navigation grove is heavily dependent upon knowing how far we got before we got jumped by the thing, which I cannot with any accuracy relate.
You were both unconscious.
Yep.
So this feels like you've sort of described a reasonably good approach. We're going to do that thing where you each roll a die and get to add 0 again.
All right.
At least it wasn't a 1.
Yeah, 3 is
and a
better.
6.
There you
Hooray!
go. Gentlemen, I'm so proud of you. All right. So
one of these days, the great prize will be ours.
A full success.
No, too much to ask.
We do have to encounter a distraction.
How does one gain momentum in this game? We just keep losing it without ever getting any.
You have to roll very well.
Yeah.
It's all the 12.
So you have to have money to make money.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let me see.
All right. So
Yeah, let's keep it simple. And we don't need to necessarily play this out, but I'm sort of curious. At some point you realize you are lost, and maybe you took a left at the banyan tree when you should have taken a right at the banyan tree. What do you encounter along the road that helps set you straight, Jareth? Do you encounter another traveler? Do you come upon an inn that's kind of an inn, a lone inn along the road? Do you encounter a merchant? What do you think?
So I think what happens is we take the wrong fork, and like the trail sort of like disappeared like into the forest until it like gets fainter and fainter and fainter until we're just on these like hunting trails and animal tracks and I think what we actually stumble across a hunter. I think we do it like I blunder through and like an arrow just misses me as a deer darts away.
Yep.
Right. And this hunter like starts like, you scared my, it starts yelling at me but we get directions to town.
Love it.
Yes, if he yells at us, I say, well, either we're lost travelers who could use the help of a good soul in finding our direction, or we're bandits who are going to ambush you and take all your stuff and then slit your throat. Which would you prefer? Rhetorical question.
Right. He sort of gives you a look like, I'll just tell you how to get to the town.
Oh, well, yeah, kind soul. I knew it. Didn't I know it, Jared?
You could always tell the kind souls from the assholes.
Yep, sure can.
I'm worse at it than you.
Sorry about you, dear, but we were lost.
In this hamlet, in this town, I think it's fairly bustling, maybe by a river, not necessarily well guarded, so there's not necessarily a lot of city guard type folk around. Maybe 2 or 3 paved streets, but lots of kind of otherwise dirt streets up and down. And you are here to find a artificer who is creating, or a jeweler who is creating a amulet on basically a pretty good counterfeit of the amulet of ethereal darkness.
Presumably we have a name.
Yes, you were told that this person is named Winifred. Winifred the jeweler. Any reason why you wouldn't know where their stall is, their storefront?
Oh, no, so presumably someone will direct us. I mean, unless this town is reeling from a sports loss to the next town over and everybody is surly, presumably somebody will direct us. So we'll knock at the door.
Yes, they have a storefront. Actually, we'll say their pronouns are they, them. And as you walk in, you kind of There is a big burly person here. This person is there to kind of guard all the jewelry that Winifred is working on. Winifred is kind of sitting at a workbench off in one corner. I'm imagining them wearing like a jeweler's loop and kind of doing some work on a particular piece. Jocasta, what do you do?
Excuse me, might you be Winifred?
They don't even look up. They're like, who's asking?
My name is Jocasta, and this is Jareth. And we were sent by a certain personage in town to pick up a item that you were crafting specially for them. It's an amulet, and I describe it.
At this point, they kind of turn and look at you, adjust their loop to take a closer look at you.
I smile, I give a little winning smile.
Who did you say sent you?
If you know the person we're talking about, you know that they wouldn't give a correct name. So let's just call her Drusilla. I describe her briefly.
I believe you have been sent on a wild goose chase.
Don't think so.
I have a piece like you describe.
Mm-hmm.
It is locked in my vault, and it is being picked up in a couple of days by the person who ordered it. And it is not whom you describe.
Jocasta, we got here early. I thought we were running late.
Must have found a shortcut.
Who would have thunk? You know, we got lost on the way here. I don't know how we managed to get here so early.
I think there must have been a lapse in communications, I think. Because it is for certain that we are the ones who are sent to pick this item up.
I think word traveled fast that I was working on this piece, and there are other people who might want to get their hands on it.
It's possible, although it seems like a very particular thing that wouldn't benefit most people. I'm sure it's fine work, if you know what I mean, but for its actual purpose, it would be of relatively modest utility, except for the very people who are, what's the word? Requested its fabrication.
Interested, engaged,
You
involved.
There's a better word here. Hang on, it'll come to me in a moment. Says chickens.
You obviously do not travel in circles involving enchanters or wizards or mages or sorcerers or the like. And then you would know that there is a great demand for these. This is the third one I've made this week.
This week already. Maybe
This month.
Really? Well, I mean, there's a great demand for amulets to enchant, I'm sure. But for ones of this specific description, really?
I cannot explain it. I am chosen for my work because I am discreet.
Well, and as are we, as you can tell by our guarded speech.
Yes, very subtle.
You know, it's a requisition. That's not it. I know the words out there. Give me time.
I suggest you two depart and return from whence you came. And do not come back here, because I will not provide you with the object that you seek.
Jocasta, sorry, what was your name again?
I'm called Winifred.
Oh, Ms. Winifred. You say the person to collect it is due in 2 days?
That is what I said.
Well, maybe hang out for a couple days and have a word with them.
No, I think Gareth, he's right. We would do better simply to go back. We've been sent out a fool's errand.
Well, we'll step outside either way.
I'm going to give you a surreptitious wink.
Yeah, that was the vibe I was trying to send out as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you depart Winifred's store front, the goon slams the door behind you and sort of glares at you through the glass.
So we're gonna break into that vault tonight, right?
Vaults are hard to break in. I was thinking of waylaying the person who actually picked it up.
Bodies are hard to hide.
We don't have to kill him.
All right. We could do that. I don't like waiting. It's 2 days. Why don't we go down? We check out the vault
This
tonight.
place has paved roads.
We check out the we sneak in. We check out the vault tonight. If we can get it, great. If not, we waylay whoever picks it up. And this is just out of character. This is Jesse wanting to try out the infiltrate move.
This is Dan. Very happy that you suggested that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing maybe you arrived sort of overnight. That you sort of
Commissioned. That's it. Commissioned.
Commission. That is a better word than the ones I suggested.
Commissioned. That's the word. The person.
That's a good word.
I knew there was a word. It's not one you get to use very often. Commission. Okay.
You want to go back in
fine.
and say it to Winifred?
No.
Maybe just leave it as a note in the vault when we leave.
Maybe. But paper's expensive.
Carve it on the inside with a blade.
If
Commission collected.
Right. You accidentally leave off like one of the M's or something. Damn it.
Hey.
Well, I mean, I can't write.
How do you want to how do you want to kill some time till this evening? I'm thinking it's maybe just before dinner time now.
It's a downtime situation.
Technically we need to do downtimes between waypoints.
Got it. Okay. So yeah.
So no, we're just wounding a little time here.
Yeah. Eating. Maybe you're teaching me how to juggle with knives.
A hearty meal, I think, is good since we may have to decamp quickly after.
Yeah, and you maybe want to show me
reprovision, because some of our stuff was in the wagon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I'm going to hold off on that. I think a good share moment might be you teaching me how to juggle with knives at some point in the future.
Sure, I'll teach you. We'll start with just basic flipping a knife.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, maybe that's what we're doing now. It's like the montage. We eat. You're trying to show me how to flip a knife, and then we look. Oh, it's dark.
So let's describe this. I think it's a one-story storefront, and it's got a glass front. Kind of a big show window in the front with a glass door, like we just described. It is largely, let's say, made out of stone. You are not clear on whether there are other windows or entries into this. But maybe when you scope it out, you find that there's at least a back door, among other things. I'd be okay with you all, say, using an appraise move to kind of get a sense of the lay of the land before you infiltrate.
Why not? What's the worst thing that could happen?
What's the worst that could possibly happen? Oh, I need to roll the die. Did you roll already? No.
No.
Yeah, so I think we're probably just like casing the outside, right? Maybe even during some of that downtime, we were kind of like watching from a distance to see if anyone was coming in or out of like side exits or whatever.
I think notably, you saw the goon leave, and you watched as Winifred kind of locked all the doors, and kind of went and did their kind of evening ritual of getting everything locked down.
Sure. So then we roll. Was that the?
Are you appraising or are you infiltrating?
Well, I thought we were appraising. That was me. I before was describing how we were appraising.
Oh, I see. I see. Forgive me.
Yes. Appraising.
Yeah. Go for it. You can do your roll.
Wait, I thought I rolled. I guess I didn't.
I see a 3 and a 5 is an 8.
8.
Ask a question and pick consequences.
And
so I think the question is, how can we get in without raising an alarm?
Yeah. Or even without getting caught, just,
Sure. Getting caught is a complicated thing. I'll settle for.
Raising an alarm, fair.
I think that's tough, given how cognizant Winifred is. But
what I was thinking of is that maybe, she's pretty confident in her, in the ability of her security to defeat an intruder, right?
Yeah.
She's got a ball and things like that. Yeah. So her home security may not be as good.
So around back.
Well, does she live in the shop?
That was my thought, that she lives kind of behind the shop.
Yes. I was thinking trying basically to sneak into her bedroom and swipe her keys.
Swipe her keys. Her keys. Okay.
And maybe that's the consequence, which is that an innocent bystander gets caught in the crossfire. She's somehow or another hurt in this process.
Sure.
How does that make it complicated for us? Right. Let me take a step back.
Yeah,
right?
That doesn't make it complicated for us, really.
Right. I think I've
got an idea that if both of you end up in a disadvantageous position, my thought is that you end up getting split up. That one of you grabbed the keys, but weren't able to get out of the house in time. So now you are sort of like stuck in Winifred's house.
Right. You like dropped the key, or one of us dropped the keys out the window.
Tossed it, right.
Yeah. But Winifred like woke up. And
okay. So now
like hiding in a closet
under,
or behind the door.
I'm under her bed.
Great. Perfect.
And now
because her wardrobe is not big enough, and besides, I'm afraid the door would creak. So I just dive under her bed.
Yeah.
And she's waking up.
So Jocasta, we're gonna pause on you for a sec, and we've got Jareth, who has the keys to the shop. So I think splitting you up means you can't do the infiltrate move.
Right. Well, so I'm fine with that, but I think this is one of mechanically what just happened was we appraised to get an answer to a question, which gave us fictional permission to do a thing without rolling. But the thing we wanted to do was roll.
Right.
Right.
That's okay.
It's like, I'm fine with it. Right. But like, I think fictionally it's interesting.
That happens to me all the time.
I think maybe if we knew we wanted to infiltrate, we probably should have just infiltrated and not appraised first.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not worried about it. I'm just thinking through how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the analysis.
Yeah.
So so Jareth has the keys. Jocasta's under the bed. Jareth, what are you doing?
I mean, I have a lot of faith in Jacosta's ability to sneak around places. I think I go around the back and open the door with the keys,
Nice.
like the store door, right, to go into the vault. I'm going it alone. I mean, I'm not rolling yet, right, until I hit an obstacle. But you know, I'm proceeding as if this was the plan all along.
Yeah, I think with the keys, right, there really shouldn't be any problem.
Well, there's the key to the vault there too.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't see any
Yeah.
reason why we have to make that complicated.
Yeah, so I just wander downstairs. I open the vault. I take out the I take out the amulet. I'm like, I think for a second, like, how do you spell commission? Realize I have no idea how to spell much of anything, and just walk out.
I'm imagining written in the dust that, you know, on the side is COME crossed out, COM crossed out.
I think I don't. I actually think I'm like even more illiterate than that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I don't think I can
No.
get that far.
No. Yeah. No. You can make an X.
Yeah.
Your mark. You make your mark.
Except I don't, because I do not want to get caught.
No. I mean, just, you know, on a contract.
Yeah, obviously.
Sorry, I'm just writing down a couple of ideas and notes. Give me just a sec. All right. Gareth, you're feeling pretty pleased with yourself.
Yeah, and now I'm just like waiting outside the window. Like, you know, I figure Jacosta's gonna come down here eventually.
Jacosta, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna wait for wait for her to leave and see if I can make it back out the window.
If it takes long enough, maybe I'll start banging on the front door.
No, I'm just gonna be really patient. And you know, I think at a certain point she's gonna figure out that her keys aren't there, and then she's going to start looking for them, and hopefully she won't look under them.
I mean, I think she drifts off to sleep, giving you potentially a chance to sneak out. But this, I feel like I want to make you roll for go it alone.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
It's pretty costly because you have to mark a condition.
Well, I'm gonna mark it. This is not the most comfortable. I think I'm tired. I've been under this bed here for an hour waiting to make sure she's absolutely back to sleep. Yeah.
Now, the way this works is you look at your aspects. So those are these answers to the questions.
Yes.
And you can roll plus the number of aspects that are relevant here. So obviously stealth. So that would give you a +1 to this roll. If you can justify any of these others, maybe you can get a +2 to the roll.
I think empathy allows me to see whether she's really fast asleep or not.
I like it.
The way, you know. And so I'll do that. So that get roll with a 2.
Yes, +2. This time you're actually rolling 2 dice yourself.
Rolling 2 dice myself. What is the world?
What is this, PBTA?
I've even got a modifier. I feel so privileged. Boom!
Whoa!
There we go. That's what a proper roll looks like.
That's like a well-oiled ballet, as a friend of mine would say.
So that's a good. I like that. So
isn't that a great phrase? It's my favorite mixed metaphor.
What does this look? I mean, you are a master of stealth. So what does this look like? You sneaking out?
This is I creep out from underneath the bed, and she's just I can't resist a comic moment. And I start to get up, and she stirs a little bit, and she goes, "Someone there?" And I say, "No, No, it's fine. Go back to sleep. And she does.
Love it.
So we've hit 5 conditions, though.
Yes. I was just going to come to that.
Between us? Oh, I didn't know it was between us.
Yes.
No, that's great. I love it. I want to see how this works.
Yeah. What's awesome is like you both have had these victories. Like Jareth has the amulet. Jocasta got out unscathed, undetected. But now you're suffering a setback.
Because we're separate, right? Like, I think that's...
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
So...
I could have rolled better.
I know. So I'm curious I guess, Jareth, as Jocasta emerges, maybe you're like a little resentful that she's looking so refreshed from having taken a little nap under the bed while you had to go into the store.
Well, but she looks tired, right? She's
Yeah,
tired.
she looks tired.
She's more tired. I think it's just like it kept me waiting long enough as I dangle the amulet, you know. And it's not so much. I mean, I think I'm poking her, but maybe she's pissed off because she was just like stuck there for a while.
Excuse me, I was trapped under that fucking bed while you just got to waltz in and out.
You don't know that I waltzed in and out. You don't know that she doesn't have a guard or an enchantment down there that I had to deal with.
I didn't hear a boom.
Maybe I dealt with it very effectively.
Baloney. I was the one who had to go in there and find those keys and rummage through there with her sleeping right there in the room.
Great job.
So I don't really know how setbacks work.
Yeah, I don't either.
So setback is basically you're going to reduce trust back down to -1. And at some point you can describe how you reconcile. Maybe we set you up with an encounter where you have to work together. And regardless of the outcome of that trust move that you make, you'll get to clear 2 conditions and restore the trust to the initial level.
All right. So let's maybe make that fight like a little sharper, if that's okay. Then just to like make I wonder. I mean, I had to work hard too.
Oh yeah. Super hard. Stand out there, wait for me to toss you the keys, and then go in there and get it. Well, I had to wait under that goddamn bed for an hour before make sure she fell back asleep again.
Took a nice relaxing nap while I was down there taking all the risk of whatever might be there. And I think
I'll give you a fucking nap if you really want one.
Part of what is making me angry is the realization that Jocasta is, of course, right.
Right.
Like that's important, right? But
I just did all the sweat.
Right, but I can't let you take all the credit. I've got the thing. So there's like that. I think is part of what's underlying my stubbornness here. Anyways, let's head back, lazy.
Fine. Yeah.
So let's do this.
The tone that indicates that she's not fine.
Yes.
I'm going to bump your trust level down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a 5-minute bio break.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, maybe we do kind of another encounter or two, and I'll introduce a little cliffhanger before next time. Does that sound all right?
Sounds right.
I'll see you in 5.
See 5.
Jareth, I wanted to ask you, you had gotten a weapon, I think it was a dagger from this person that you knew, Dunmar, right?
Yeah, by my former lover had gifted it to me and then stolen it or taken it when he left.
Okay.
Yeah, he disappeared one morning with it.
Okay. And have you been in touch with him since?
Nope, he's in the wind so far as I'm concerned. I think I knew like there was like that he was in debt and that he had some he had some debts. He was in trouble with some people, and things had not been great between us for some period of time before this. So it wasn't like a huge shock when he disappeared, and that he took the one valuable thing aside from my sword in the apartment.
All right. I think we might encounter him, but maybe not today. Maybe another time. In fact, I think as I'm imagining that you two have now sort of collected yourselves and you are about to head out of town. Mechanically, I think we can consider this waypoint complete. So now we're between waypoints. I added to your list of waypoints the home of Winifred the jeweler to get the counterfeit amulet and the asset counterfeit amulet. You need assets in order to complete the final quest. This is sort of like if you've played Brindlewood Bay, sort of like gathering clues that you'll then use to kind of complete the final mission.
Oh, should we have rolled grab the goods at some point?
Yes, I was reflecting on that, and I was thinking instead of infiltrate, that is what we should have rolled. I'm okay that we didn't roll it. I would like to try and remember doing it next time, but I think I am going to introduce what that move calls plot twists
Sure.
at this point, which is why I was asking about Dunmar. I was thinking about either Dunmar or Albrecht could kind of show up here and make things complicated. I guess any other thoughts or things that you all want to do before we kind of wrap up this waypoint?
I guess my question is just, given that the next thing is going to be downtime, I am curious mechanically how that works, given that we're sort of in the middle of a setback. If we want to try to share or,
the setback,
rest.
Yeah, the setback move, where did I put it? Oh yeah, the setback moves allows you you can share and roll at a -1, and then on a hit, basically you restore.
Okay, so maybe that's what we'll try to do. Does that make sense, Brandon?
Sure.
If we're hitting downtime.
Yeah, so we can restore. You're basically restoring trust to the original level. How do you figure out how to get back to the city of Sassafras, Ephanos? How do you keep? Do you find a wagon that's heading that way? Do you just walk, take the road now that you know the way? Find a guide. What do you think, Jareth? How do you decide to make your way back?
I'd rather ride than walk that distance, thanks.
Yeah.
But we also have to clear out kind of quick. So we're leaving in the middle of the night, so we're not taking a wagon.
Yeah. I wonder, are we stealing horses?
If anybody is so foolish to leave them where we can get them, yeah.
I like it. I mean, we can use infiltrate to try and steal some horses, or we can just say you do it and you're kind of clopping along there. I'd be fine with that.
I think we're just stealing horses. Yeah.
And move along.
This is a peaceful town. They don't have a lot of horse thieves.
No. Still not. So talk to me about what sharing looks like. How do you try and reconcile your trust?
I think I straight up apologize, actually. I think it's like legit me. I reach into the pouch or pocket where I've got the amulet as we're riding next to each other, and I hold it out to her, and I say, yeah, you're right. It was real easy after you got me those keys. I'm sorry.
You're a big fat jerk.
Sometimes, I got my pride.
You can hold on to the thing. I don't care.
Sure. Then I drop it back in my pocket. I sometimes I gotta feel like I'm doing the work too.
You do plenty.
Thanks. And
No,
maybe
you
that's
do. I mean, I wasn't the one who got bit by that thing.
fair enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got away from that from that hyena dude scot free. I
Well,
don't feel so bad anymore.
I am small and lithe and not all that fucking durable. So
No, it's
if
fine.
any
It's fine.
any plan involving my getting bit is probably a bad plan.
It's fine. You had to sleep. You had to sleep under a thing for a while quietly and avoid that
Because I had
shopkeeper. I had to get bit by a hyena. We have our roles here. We all have our crosses to bear.
I had no idea what I was going to do if she actually looked under the bed.
Stab her in the eye.
I really, really didn't want to do that. They
That's
come
fair.
after they come after you for things like that.
Yeah, she wasn't very nice.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, murdering honest citizens gets
Yeah,
you gets you a black mark.
she works for sorcerers.
She works for. No, she doesn't really. She just.
She really does. She was very clear about that.
Well, no, I mean, but she's she just does contract work.
Yeah, for sorcerers.
Besides, her stuff was nice. I didn't want to stab her in the eye.
Okay, I'm glad. I mean,
Threatened to stab her in the eye. I might have done that.
Sure.
But I'm glad I didn't have to do that because I don't know how far away that huge guy was, and she might yell really loud.
She might yell really loud. That's true.
She strikes me as the kind who has has one of those high pitched screeches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, stabbing squealers is always a problem.
Yeah. Well, also you can never count on the first stab actually shutting them up,
Right, and then they squeal.
especially in the dark when they're peeking over the edge of a bed, and you don't have a really advantageous place to thrust from. I mean, I probably could have gotten her pretty good, but she just might have gone running for
Might have
whatever
squealed,
passes for the guard.
understand. She might have squealed.
You too.
I was perfectly glad that she didn't. Yeah, that's
You two bond over the strangest things.
we do.
So now we do that thing where you each roll a die. Where this
Have
is
you
the shit.
No,
You're
No,
technically
not that.
rolling at a -1.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
yeah, just do it. Just do it. Don't look back.
One.
Wow.
Oh, I rolled 2 dice by accident.
We'll take the 6, but
Should have
still.
let me roll both of the dice. Clearly.
It's a
Next time,
7
just
that
give me
gets
the
turned to a
dice.
6.
Yeah.
So
Next time you
of
give me the dice.
of course you all rolled a 6. All right. So I've the
Can we use lore to bump up a downtime move?
well, so in this setback,
We don't have any lore anyway.
yeah, so technically this is a cascade from setback.
Right.
And you have to share, but roll at -1. On a 6 minus, you're supposed to pick from one of these. You don't really have anything to spare, right? You don't have anything to spare. So I'm just going to use this to sort of fictionally make things complicated for you.
Sure.
Which we will come back to.
You get to clear 2 conditions.
You get to clear 2 conditions. Yes, that definitely happens, and your trust is restored.
2 each or 2 total?
2 total.
So why don't you clear 2 and I'll keep my 2.
Okay, so I'll stay tired, but I'm no longer anxious or broken.
Cool. Technically, we were in downtime, so you do get another downtime move. You can choose to carouse again, or you can each do one of the other ones, which I guess would be rest. Really,
I think I would like to rest and clear my tired condition.
I think rest is good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we're like sleeping on the back of the horses as we go.
Waking up only occasionally to argue with each other. Yes.
So yeah, we can each clear 1 condition.
How does the situation become more complicated because of our failure?
Well, I'm thinking that you picked up the wrong amulet. How you feel?
Wouldn't that just be failing what we did before?
Yeah, I feel like that just undoes what we accomplished.
That's
Yes. No, I think we may have picked on the wrong jeweler, but we didn't pick up the wrong amulet.
Then I will need to think on it some more.
I mean, I have an idea. If we're talking about is a complication, right? As we're riding out of town, the person who is supposed to come into town, as we're having that conversation, right? Because this is just
right,
right. And I hold up the amulet to show Jocasta. The person who's supposed to pick it up sees it.
Well, that's rude.
While you're on the road.
While we're on the road, and knows we have it.
I like that. Okay.
I don't know who that was, but you probably do, or will soon.
Well, I will soon. We will assume that they followed you back to the city.
Serves you right for showing it off.
After the original buyer over. So many complications to play with. This next waypoint, you need to go visit now Alina the Enchantress to cast the spell on this.
Right.
As you are making your way I'm just making a note. As you're making your way there, I am wondering if you're back in the city, where, Jocasta, might you accidentally run into Albrecht?
Let's see, at the marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah, he's some prosperous merchant asshole at this point,
Okay.
So he's he'd probably be well dressed, and so he'd be looking over the wares of some rug merchant, or fine woodworker or something like that, who has things on display. It's market day, it's market day in this section of town.
Yep. Very busy, very bustling.
Tents and lightly, but stalls with little fabric covers to keep the sun off, and
right.
Tea, and it's basically like an Arab souk.
Yeah.
Crowds and jostling, and lots of smells of cooking food, and people shouting, come by, find us spices over here, and things like that. A whole mix of high and low culture. Fancy people with bodyguards and gutter rats, and scampering, in between, cutting in between stalls, or scampering through the gutters.
And Jareth, why do you think you all are in this part of town? Is Alina over here? Are you just kind of making your way because this is the first part of the city that you got to? What brought you to the market area, would you say? I was asking Jareth that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking. I think probably Alina, right? She's like an enchantress for hire, right? She probably has a stall or a shop there. Maybe it's not like directly in the marketplace, but it's like just off the market, right? The kind of place where people know to go. People in the know where to go.
Right.
And it's helpful to be near that sort of like bustling marketplace for customers to come through, etc. And so like we're on our way to her.
And maybe the stall is marked with a certain combination of flags so you can recognize it, because since magic is maybe not on the up and up.
No. That's what I'm saying. I don't actually think it's like a stall in the market. I think she probably has like maybe like a basement apartment or like a home just off the market square,
Nice.
right? And I don't. My guess is it's actually not marked at all. You just have to sort of know where it
Just have to
is.
know. Right.
And she probably has like a little fenced, fenced gate kind of thing with a courtyard and, something picturesque.
Jocasta, what feelings come up when you see Albrecht standing there?
Fuck. Let's see. A whole melange of feelings. Nostalgia, regret, um, irritation. It's my day wasn't complicated enough.
Right.
I have too much pride to take up powder to hide from him, but it hurts to see him.
Well, and I think he locks eyes with you, like he sees you. There's no getting out of this, and he lights up when he sees you and approaches and says, "Jocasta, I'm so glad to see you."
Hello, Albrecht. It's I didn't expect to bump into like this.
It's been so long. I'm sorry that we've lost touch.
Well, I hear you've been doing really well. Your business has been prospering, and you have what, 3 children now, and they're your wife is well, and everyone's getting a good education. And
when you mention his wife, I think he looks a little bit crestfallen. I'm thinking that maybe his wife passed away. Would everyone be okay with that? Is that right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I lost her several years ago. It's been hard, but with the children, but it's been we've been able to make do. But I have a problem, and now that I see you, I realize maybe you're the one who can help me with it.
Me? I'm not. I'm not the person you remember, Albrecht. Not really. I've had a kind of tough life, and I've done what I've had to do to get by. It's I'm not even necessarily the kind of person you should be associating with.
I've heard things about you as well, and in fact, it's this version of you that I think I need. I've got, and he's sort of looking around like, I've got folks shaking me down.
What? Jocasta suddenly, perks up from her stupor.
They know things about me and my business, and they're extorting me, and I can't make them go away. Maybe you can.
Yeah. Why don't you? Maybe I can. Why don't you fill me in over some tea or something?
Does your friend want to join us?
Oh,
Jocasta, yeah, Jocasta, do you want me to join you?
He may be just the emotional crutch you need. in this moment of vulnerability.
Yeah, why don't you join us? This is
Are you
is my
sure you wouldn't
associate.
rather be
Jared, shut the
alone?
fuck up.
Sure, I'll come. I'll come. I say I'm laughing, right? I'm enjoying this moment a little bit, I think.
A little too much.
I'm remembering when you watched me get.
Joe Casta shoots you a look that says, I have a lot of knives.
I think I sort of say, you should tell your friend about that time I got beat up in that bar.
No, he doesn't want to hear that. Let's this is Jareth, my associate.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Jareth, her associate.
Nice to meet you, Jareth. Are you together?
Yeah, we're here together.
No, we're not together.
Okay. I didn't mean to pry. He leads you to a tea house, which fictionally, coincidentally, happily is
but as soon as his gaze turns away, I give Jareth an enormous shot in the ribs with my elbow.
And I give Jocasta an enormous shit-eating grin.
Yeah, okay, your ribs still hurt.
Yeah, a little bit.
Here's where I want to kind of land our episode. You're sitting at the tea house. It's conveniently located right across from Alina the Enchantress's place. So you're sort of keeping an eye on that. And maybe the little cliffhanger that we end on here is as you are catching up with Albrecht, you see a couple of shady characters, like 3, enter into Alina's place. Folks who don't necessarily look like they would be customers so much as something else.
So just a question about that.
Yeah.
Now, if they were sitting here in this tea house and saw us walking in, what would they think?
No, what he's implying is that these guys that it looks like these guys are real toughs.
No, I understand that. I'm just.
We do not look like toughs.
I look a little bit like
we are eclectic.
Yeah, I was picturing you two as eclectic and like you're not dressed the same.
I have nice clothes for what we can afford.
For an urchin. I think yeah.
I do. I actually have some faded brocade, as part of my outfit and some nice gloves. It's just they're not in great condition. But they were nice at one point.
I look decidedly disreputable, but that's fine. I'm the fact that we look eclectic probably shaves some of the edges off that for sure.
We don't look like hired muscle.
We could. I mean, I could have
besides
exactly what you are.
Besides, Jocasta's an empath, and she can tell. The thug is how you carry yourself.
I mean, alternatively, we can make it slightly different where people are not.
I'm fine. I love it. I just want to be this.
Okay.
I wasn't objecting. I was trying to shade it by sort of giving it some perspective. But
so what I think
fine.
is when these people go into Alina's who look like they are there to cause trouble, Jocasta is going to hop up and say to Albrecht, "Don't go anywhere."
All right.
And say to Jareth, "Come on,
let's go." And we're going and follow them right in from a,
Are we your friend? Are we just leaving Albrecht behind, or is Albrecht? Did you invite Albrecht?
Yeah, I turned to Albrecht and I said, "Wait right there." And then I looked at you and I said, "Come on, let's go."
Nice to meet you.
And we're gonna go in here. We're gonna shadow them right in because right. I think something's going down, and we better be part of it.
And we will leave it there.
Yeah, great.
That was great, friends. Can we take a few moments to do stars and wishes? Would that be okay?
Sure. Do you want to do those? Are you still recording?
I'm okay recording them. Would you prefer?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just double checking. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Who's gonna watch it?
I don't know.
I did Brandon first last week, so maybe Jesse, do you mind going first?
Yeah, stars. This was a ton of fun. I think stars wise, like I love Jocasta more and more and more and more and more. I especially like the kind of like both I like the bickering and I also like those moments of sharing. I think both of them like the relationship has sort of deepened for sure. I'm excited to see more of that. Um, so yeah, so that's a start for you. And then Dan, I'm digging this game a lot. I think the big star here is in terms of like play is that I think that feeling when trust goes up is real nice. Right. And like the way you set up the questions and the consequences, which I think I wish we were like a little bit better about answering them when we roll the moves. We don't always turn to those questions. Sometimes because we've just shaded the fiction that way already.
Right.
But I think like it does help to at least acknowledge that. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a star. I'll come to that as a wish in a second. Star is it feels really good. I love the questions. Like the mechanically, you've done a great job of sort of showing how that relationship progresses and like it just starting to do better on rolls feels real good. So the wish around that is I think just being a little bit more self-conscious around how we're framing our interactions on the rolls during those trust rolls. Like the questions are there. I think it's helpful to sort of like make sure if we're not answering them to at least say, and this is how we've shaded this in a trust level 0 kind of way or a trust level -1 kind of way.
Right.
Just to be like self-aware about it.
It makes me wonder, just to switch gears to kind of game feedback, it makes me wonder if the way I sort of set it up, instead of 3 questions, maybe it's one big prompt for each trust level so that it's not so easy to ignore because there's 3 questions.
I guess I don't know. I feel like trust. The problem is we were rolling at trust level -1 for like 2 whole sessions.
Yeah.
So if you just have that one question there, I think that would get old.
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of fast. But I mean, try it and see. I think it's worth giving a shot if you think it might work. Yeah. Anyway, and then in terms of like fictional, in terms of like wishes for the story, narrative wishes. Yeah, I want to see more of Albrecht. I'd love to see Donmar pop up. The other thing it got me thinking about was this is, I guess, another like character. This is a character creation thing. So one of the things that the Liber does, and I think the a lot of this kind of fiction does is like there's the lore stuff, which is like the stories of our cooperation and etc. But there's also like that thing that they have shared that they bond over. Right. So, right. Fafhrd and the Grey Mouse are in that first short story, right? They each have a lover that they lose.
Right.
Right. And I wonder if like a fictional hook like that, I mean, there'd have to be like a menu or something, but like a fictional hook like that might help. And I felt like we introduced it in the sharing and I think it worked well there too. I think that like that helped us. That's why I introduced it. But I just wonder if that might be a thing that's worth doing, or maybe not. Maybe you don't need it because you got all this other stuff.
Yeah. It's good.
Anyways, just the thought. Yeah, awesome. I'm having fun.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jesse. Brandon, stars and wishes.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to see Jarrett's other qualities besides the surface buffoonery come through, and that's cool too. Yeah, getting from trust -1 to trust 0 was huge, and I liked a lot of this, but the business at the end where you threw in Albrecht was the killer. Yeah. Because Jocasta is a very self-assured person, right? She's calm, cool, collected, nothing much phases her. Yeah. But it's not really true. And there are some things that crack her facade. And and I'm glad that you brought out one of them. There are other ones that I have in mind should they ever eventuate. But of course, that's the big one, because that's kind of her, the thing that the thing that devils her during bad moments is regrets over Albrecht. And and the I just pictured, as I said, as she said, when I said, I'm not really the person you remember. There was a lot of that. What I was feeling was, it's like, you've done well, and look at me.
Right.
You're somebody, and I'm nobody, really. You made something of your life, and you have people who, uh, you have all the stuff that I thought I wanted, except that, and what do I have? I'm still alive. And so that was, that was a huge reflective moment. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
But that was the best bit. So, and as far as wishes goes, I think with Albrecht here, I'm gonna get my wish for next time, because there's gonna, wherever this goes, whatever kind of closure it has, it's going to be, it's going to be something that Jocasta is not going to deal with, emotionally for some time. And so yeah, don't pull any punches, I guess, is my wish. Because I love that stuff, as you know.
Yeah. All right, friends, I'm going to stop the recording.